This is the Oz report for July 6, 2024. And let's start with Plex and Plex adjacent items, as we almost always do. Let's go into the game client and let's start with Plex. So last week we had that massive Plex sale going on, so Plex prices are still high. This week they aren't changed that much. So we're still at about 5.2, 5.3 on the sell order side and about 5.05 on the buy order side. So yes, prices are still high. Not as high as skill extractors though. Skill extractors to the moon. We're at 586 million. That is even higher than last week. And honestly, at this point, I don't see how there couldn't be a skill extractor sale coming very, very soon. I think the question is it going to be a cash sale or is it going to be a new Eden Store Plex sale? That's going to, I would expect it to be a cash sale because of the very high Plex prices. If they did a skill extractor sale now, something like a 2-for-1 or a 25% off on skill extractors, what would happen is the Plex availability in the market is so low that we would probably sell out the market again. There's such a hunger for skill extractors because of all of the new skill farms that have come up. I do think that that they would prefer doing a real money store, but that is skill extractors. Skill injectors are largely unchanged from last week. A little bit up, I think, but the long-term trend. I still think that the long-term trend is going to be down because of the amount of new skill farms being created on the basis of all those new sales that were happening. Master at Arms cerebral accelerators. We always have an eye on these because they, for the longest time, they used to be the go-to for skill point generation, acceleration, and so they have dropped a lot because you can buy better equivalents now in the New Eden store. I say this almost every week. Yes, the ones in the New Eden stores are still the better deals. So this is again a public service announcement. If you're buying Master at Arms cerebral accelerators, you're just doing it wrong. Not at the current price. The real price should be cheaper than this. Buy some Plex, go to the New Eden store, buy them there. It's better to do it there. All right, let's look at items that are trending up this week. And what's immediately obvious there is that we have the Thunder Child and the Stormbringer. So if we look at that on the Oz Report dashboard, we can see that the Thunder Child is up 18%. And the Stormbringer is this slide has already updated, but earlier, what was it? The Stormbringer was up 12%. All right, so obviously some people flying some Edencom ships, so that's good. Not only that, but if you look at the large Vorton projector, which is the weapon that goes on it, this is up like something like 78%, and there aren't basically any left in the market. So people are buying Stormbringers, people are buying Thunderchilds. If you look at Zkill, definitely it's being flown a lot on, I think, both sides of the large alliance wars. It's being used for some of them are being used for ratting. Probably also there's an abyssal application somewhere, so just very popular ships. I mean, we know that the Triglavian ships have lost a little bit in demand since the nerf that happened, and so Edencom ships are now just hot. So very good, good thing to see. We haven't talked those ships a lot on the Oz report, so good to see a little bit of new stuff. And then, if it wouldn't be the Oz report if I didn't mention Zyrine, because yes, we have a massive price increase for Zyrine. We're at 1,472. And I don't know, it's been like 2 years that I've been telling people to buy Zyrine because I do think it's underpriced. Obviously, it's taken way longer than expected, but this is the largest rally we've seen all year. So, here's to hoping that Zyrine will actually recover, and it's bucking the trend of the other basic minerals that should be coming down. I think part of why Zyrine hasn't recovered quicker is because the impact of Equinox changes in that, alliances can define which anomalies spawn on their grounds to dictate which types of minerals are being introduced into the economy. Those impacts have been much lower than expected because the sites aren't as profitable, and so we're not seeing a big huge change to basic minerals in the market overall. Zyrine, I don't know. If I had to guess, this Zyrine change is probably market manipulation because there's too many people that have bought into Zyrine because I told them to. But let's see how this plays out. But definitely good to see Zyrine up. If we're looking at what's trending down, it's very clear that the mutaplasmids are just dropping completely, and I don't have a very good explanation for you. But if you look at some of the higher traded mutaplasmids, like the unstable ballistic control system mutaplasmid or the unstable heatsink mutaplasmid, they're all down 15 to 30%. So this is quite massive. And typically I would say, yeah, it must be because people are running more abyssals, and the 10% downward trajectory this week for abyssal materials would indicate the same. It just doesn't, it just doesn't make sense overall, because I think, for one, I don't think people are running that much more abyssals than before, and two, I think the reason why abyssal materials are dropping is because of the Triglavian ship nerf that happened a few months ago, rather than actually people running more abyssals. But if you have more information on that, please make sure you drop it into the YouTube comments. Would be very interested in reading about that. And then, of course, on trending down, we still also got the gas. We've got multiple mycocerosins dropping, Caledon, Viridian. They're all dropping even more. So if we look at what gas has been doing overall this week, we see that there's another 6% down, and gas materials are now 25% below 52-week average. And the reason for that is because we had the Equinox expansion, which took away gas as an input material for subcap faction ships. And that used to drive a huge demand for them, and that's just completely not there anymore. Now they're only used for capital ships, and that's having a massive impact on gas materials. What else? If we look at what's in low supply, right? Going back over here, so what's currently in short supply? Plex is at 0.2 trade days. Now, compared to trade value, there's never enough Plex in the market because it's just a super liquid item that enters and exits the market very quickly. However, the current supply level of Plex is historically low. So 0.2 trade days of Plex in the market on sale in JITA is not very high. All right, in JITA, in the Forge overall, I should say. So that's one thing. The other interesting thing is that Vargers and Kronos, so the Marauders, are also almost gone. So compared to what's traded in a day right now, the Varger is 0.3 trade days and the Kronos is 0.5 trade days. So the available Kronos and Vargers in the Forge, in the market, they can't even supply half a trade day. So if you look at the demand, yes, a week ago there was a demand spike on the Kronos. There's been increasing demand, but not crazy on the Varger. My guess is there's just not enough supply being restocked on them because people are focusing on producing other stuff rather than the Marauders. And there have been changes. There have been changes to C6 wormhole routing sites, right? That were intended to reduce the amount of Marauders running those sites. However, my understanding is that it hasn't resulted in everyone going, and taking their capitals out instead of Marauders. But again, if you have more insight on that, drop it into the comments. Yeah, what else? I think if we look at the underpriced category, there isn't really anything there that is out of the ordinary. So we expect Isogen to be there. That's not underpriced. That's just going to drop more. We expect the Freitas to be there, Obelisk and Charon. They should be there. Logic circuits are, they have pretty much bottomed out. So if you ask me, like, what's something that I could imagine investing in right now, larger sums, logic circuits are very much traded a lot, and their price is very, very low right now. So ultimately, at some point, I think these are going to recover. The rest of these aren't really any additional. There's no huge insight in them. Just that prices are down for a good reason. Okay, I think that's going to wrap it up for the Oz report this week. We're going to return to the regular stream, and I'll see you guys next week.